When your thoughts, actions, and beliefs contradict each other, that's cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance often occurs in bad habits. Take smoking, for example. This guy, he wants to quit smoking. He knows everything that's wrong with it and how it's destroying his health. So he decided that he's going to quit. A couple of days pass by, Friday rolls around, and he succumbs to the urge and picks up a cigarette and lights it. There's a sense of guilt, more like an uneasiness that comes with it. It's a cognitive imbalance when your actions don't align with your thoughts. This is common in all bad habits, as I've mentioned. If you're trying to get rid of a bad habit, you've probably felt this before, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. It's important to note is that cognitive dissonance is not the uneasy feeling that comes with it. Cognitive dissonance is the thoughts, beliefs, and actions that you take that contradict each other. But the uneasy feeling comes from the imbalance, or just like how wrong it is for your mind to be like that. It's the war, the clashing of ideals inside your mind. This is like a sign that is used by your subconscious mind to indicate that there's something you need to solve. You have to let one of these thoughts, one of these actions win the war in your mind so that you can reach a state of equilibrium again in your mind. So what I'm trying to teach you today is how to consciously choose which one you want to keep and which one you want to throw away and lose the war. But first we have to understand the three self-defense mechanisms that are really common for cognitive dissonance and why they're so bad. So then the first one is avoiding. Avoiding is just like avoiding the issue, avoiding the cause of the issue, avoiding thinking about it. That's pretty self-explanatory. You just like try to avoid thinking about it. You try to avoid whatever would bring back the memory of you doing it, or of the action, or of the thought. You just avoid it entirely. And that's probably like really obvious why it's so negative, so I'm not going to delve into that. Delegitimizing. So let's say in the case of smoking, it's just downplaying your source or the information. So not the information, your source. So if you were told that smoking is bad, but the person that said it is a high schooler, you'd be like, well, it's a high schooler, so it's probably wrong because high schoolers are wrong most of the time. Obviously, this is probably not true because smoking, we all know that's pretty bad for you, but it's just a self-defense mechanism, and this is really reductionist, like really summarized way, like definition for delegitimizing. But that's basically what it is. You just downplay your source or how you got the information to say that it's okay. And then there's limiting impact, which is probably the second most common. It's just like, oh, I skipped the gym one day. What's one day really gonna do? Or one cigarette, like you get cancer over thousands, hundreds of cigarettes. But one cigarette, it's fine. It's not that bad. Yeah, missing the gym once is not even that bad. So who cares? That's limiting impact. But all of these, what's really important to note is that there's research that all of these do negative or could lead to negative impacts towards the individual and others. So I am emphasize that you should try to avoid these at all costs. I don't care if you listen to the rest of this video or not. Just don't do these three because you can harm yourself or others, and that's not something you want to do. There was a study in 2019 on how dissonance-based interventions may be helpful with people with eating disorders. The name's pretty long, and the number of researchers is really long, so here it is for you to read. They made the participants do tasks that would make them contradict their beliefs about food and body image. So, for example, they had them role play as someone that would convince another person to stop their eating disorder, or like yeah, to try to convince them to eat food and why food is healthy for them and why it's actually bad for them to not eat as much. And by doing that, they now have two clashing ideas. Their original thoughts that led them to the eating disorder, and then just the knowledge that the eating disorder is bad and why they should eat food and all that. And the study found that this intervention was effective for heterosexual women. The participants in the study were both heterosexual and non-heterosexual women. So you can't generalize the findings to everybody. You can only, like, if you generalize, do so at your own risk, because that is practice that is not recommended in the science and psychology community. So yeah, do so at your own risk. But this study does show how it is beneficial to alter bad behavior. Like, cognitive dissonance is helpful for bad behavior, as long as you tackle it right, as long as you know how to deal with it, um, and you do not fall into a defense mechanism, because that, as I've said, can harm you or the people around you. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's about it for this video. One thing I did want to add on is like a funny, cool, I don't know, just a PS, is that manifestation is kind of like a. I don't really believe in manifestation all that much, but in a sense, manifestation kind of aligns with cognitive dissonance if you think about it. Let's say you manifest yourself to be a millionaire. I am going to be a millionaire one day, and I know I will because I constantly think about it. I constantly manifest it. I constantly say, I wake up and I just say, I'm going to be a millionaire, right? And just constantly saying this will create a vision in your mind that you are a millionaire, and then your actions will adapt to that because you think that way. So your actions will adapt to become more like what you see a millionaire would do, like what their habits would be and what their actions would be. And then slowly you'd become that person, and then bam, you do the things that you think a millionaire would do. And I think that's kind of what, maybe, if there is any manifestation in this world, that's what it would look like. So I guess, yeah, that's all I've got to say for the rest of this video. Check out some of my other videos. I don't know, maybe like and subscribe. Yeah, see you guys in the next video.